This conference will now be recorded.
All right.
Can you guys hear us / see us?
Yes, we can. We can hear and see you. So good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for managing your online presence with the Titusville Area Chamber of Commerce and Blue Shift Web Services. And so I am going to very quickly turn the controls over to Emily and Ryder from Blue Shift. Do you guys need presentation capabilities? Are you going to show
presentation for what we're talking about?
No, but we are going to be doing screen sharing where.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Okay. So I've given you presentation skills or presentation permissions, so you should be good. All you need to do is share your screen and we're good to go.
Yeah, just a heads up to everybody. Our screen froze. We can still hear you, but we can't see you as of right now. So if you try to wave us down,
Probably as you can see right now, you can probably see that all of your faces are frozen.
Yes, we can.
Cameron?
And I look so wonderful right in the middle of a word. Well, you catch me as well as Walter does sometimes. Walter catches me like when I have my mouth open.
I tried.
Y'all look pretty good.
All right, so what are we going to talk about first with web design?
There we go.
We can talk about UX, about the proper layout.
I'm going to pull up our website.
Yeah. And at any point, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask, because that's our favorite way to do things.
Dude, hold on.
It's kind of hard to
hear the floor right now.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
Do you think we should restart, or do you think we should like restart our side of the meeting so that we can like see you guys moving and talking?
Marcia, your mic is off.
Can you guys hear us? Because I don't think we're able to hear you.
There you go. Can you hear me? Can you hear
I can
me?
hear
Yeah.
you now.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to log out,
Can you guys do it?
Log out and log back in, you can.
It sounds like
Yeah. Yeah, they're hearing us very slow.
I can hear you. All right, so just give it a minute. Let them get back in and see if that fixes their problem. Apologize for the. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, there you go.
Share screen. Okay, you guys see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to pull up my website and the Chamber's website. And we're going to go over some things about user interface that everybody should know. So that's how you can gauge your website to see if it's working well, if it's converting well, all of that. So the first thing you know about a website is that the menu is always in this top area up here where the logo is and all these little nice menu buttons. You want this to always be in the top. There are trends for it to be on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, but that's not actually very well for user experience. It looks trendy, but it's not good for users who are very, very accustomed to this layout with the navigation.
Yeah, also Google expects things to be in certain spots, and when it's not there, they assume that it's unprofessional and you'll take an SEO hit for that, probably. Another thing I just want to point out is you see how the logo is on the top left side? That's typically how you want, sorry, lower. That's typically where you're going to want your logo. A lot of people like to be original and have their logo. So you can maybe get away with having your logo in the top middle, but generally you want it at the top left. Also, one thing that you definitely want is you want it to be the size that you see it, like on the Titusville chamber as you see it right now. You're gonna want it about that size, very close, because a lot of people think, I'm going for branding. I want my logo to be the first thing people see. You don't want it. I mean, it's fine if it's the first thing they see, but you don't want it to be huge. People don't actually really care. And there's a reason why the logos are generally the size that they are.
Yeah, the general size is usually anywhere between 150 to 250 pixels. So that's going to be the height here, the height from the top of this to the bottom of this. It's just a general web standard that pretty much every developer uses. If your web developer has your logo super huge on your website, it could be anything from like the CSS to the HTML, and you just need to ask them to make it smaller. So moving on, the next thing is we have our 3 call to actions. So they have your chamber, who we are, launch your vacation for visiting Titusville, and live, work, grow our economy.
I just want to add, yeah, as far as the call to action buttons, you always want there to be a call to action button. As soon as someone lands on your website, you want them to be able to go straight to filling out a form or making a purchase. Whatever the action that you want the client to take, you want them to be able to do it right when they go on your website. If they go to your website knowing I'm going to make a purchase right now, or whatever it is you want them to do, you want them to be able to do it right then and there. So that's what that is. And you also want call to actions all throughout your website. Basically, you should have a call to action on your website at all times as they're scrolling. Wherever they are on the website, they should be able to check out or fill out a form, whatever it is that you want to do.
So as you'll see down here, you'll have join, be a member, the member directory, and the coupons and discounts. These are also call to actions. Generally, you'll see that the call to actions are usually 1 or 2 different buttons. It can be filling out the form like he said, it could be making a call, it could be signing up and making a purchase. It really just depends on your business. So they also have their social links up here, from their Facebook all the way to Instagram, and I believe this is an email. This is really, really good. This is how people can see more about your brand, because most often you're going to be posting on these social media platforms more than you're posting on your website. At least you should be if you're doing it right. So these also send social signals with Google. So Google sees that you're interconnected on all of these major platforms, and they'll give you a boost in SEO for it. And that's really what you want. You want your website to be the first thing on Google. So it's definitely important. Anything else you want to mention on this? All right, and so I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page and show you guys the footer. So here they have a footer. They have some major links here, which are their call to actions from earlier in the page. A contact us, a sitemap. So sitemap, that's very, very important for SEO. That is basically telling Google what the pages on your website are. There's many, many sitemap generators. If you just search it on Google, you'll find at least 5. You can use that for it to crawl your website and give you a sitemap.
Something else to add is, as far as all the words on your website, just any words, that you should only have maybe 1 or 2 different like font styles throughout your entire website. So yeah, that's
it usually means you're going to have one font style. So the events, for example, is one font, and then the text below it is either the same font or a different font.
And the same goes with the colors as well. You only want to use 1 or 2 different colors.
You can have like a max of 3. So once you get into more colors, it tends to get cluttered and confusing for your user. I have a few clients that have rainbow logos. So it was kind of difficult to persuade them to go back into having more of a simplistic color selection for their website when they wanted the full rainbow. But that's another thing that you want to take into account with web design. You want it to be simple and easy to use. If you're not making it simple and easy to use, people will click out of it. Does anybody have another website they would like to see? No, we're frozen.
Can you guys hear us?
I can hear you. I've taken over control. I figured something had to happen. You're frozen and you no longer have the control. Is that what it is, Emily?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave meeting and come back, see what's going on.
Again, my apologies, Tina, Rob, and Walter. I'm going to get Marcia back in here because I'm new at troubleshooting it, okay?
No problem.
Marcia, we have a problem. They've lost control as the presenter. And so they've logged out.
Again? Okay. I'm waiting. Sorry, I stepped away from my desk.
Just happened.
Sorry, I made you an organizer as well, so that you can control it. So do I need to tap dance again?
You're good, Marsh.
Let's everybody
Oh, I wish I had my camera.
slide. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Chris girl. That's right, everybody, clap your hands. Okay, they're back. Let's try this again.
I do apologize for technical difficulties. I'm not sure what's going on.
I've made you given you presenter status again.
Everybody see the screen?
We can.
All right. So I pulled up our website. At the top, you'll see the logo, the navigation, and one of our call to actions, which is we want people to get on the phone with us. So you'll see that the phone number is repeated multiple times. Get started is repeated multiple times. Right when you jump onto our page, you can see that we have what we do big and bold so that people know right away what we're for, what they can use us for. Then below we have different call to actions. So most of them are just getting into a contact form or giving us a call or emailing us. And we have a lot of wordage. So you want to have at least 500 words per page on your website.
Well, yeah, about that. You actually want to have as much as possible. And the amount you really want to have is you want to type in whatever keyword you want to rank for. So for us, let's say Brevard County web design, right? We type in Brevard County web design, and if we were number 5, we would go and click on whoever's ranking number 1 and see how many times they're using that keyword within their content. And then we want to have either that much or more. You know, personally, I would just double whatever they have so that I will rank number 1. That's pretty much what it takes. So whoever's got the most content is going to rank number 1 eventually, generally. So that's kind of how you want to do that. Also, where's our little thing? Do you know?
I don't
want to
know.
talk about that?
Don't know.
Oh,
It might not be
I'll just-
popping up because we're screen sharing.
Yeah.
There might be something on it. We also have our portfolio front and center on the home page. This shows them what we're capable of. This is something, if you're a photographer, you want to have that on there. If you're selling products, you want to have pictures of your products on here in this place. It's very dependent on what you do as a business, of course. Then testimonials. Testimonials online are almost as trusted as asking your neighbor who they use for a plumber. They did a bunch of psychological studies, and it's very, very interesting that people will trust these online reviews on Google, on Facebook, almost as much as they trust their own mom. And if you are capable of putting testimonials on your website, this helps tremendously with your brand trust and your reliability with your customers. Then I have a blog here popping up, and then we say, let's get started. Now, our footer is a little bit more intense than the chamber footer. We have our hours, we have our contact information, our social medias, and then an actual contact form.
Oh, so I just also want to go by what I said earlier about like how you want to decide how much words you want to use or how much keywords you want to use on a certain page. So let's just say I have a web design company, but it's not mine. Basically, Blue Shift Web Services is my competitor, right? Hypothetically, what I would do is I would come to my website or this website, I would do Control F, the find feature, and type in, I want to rank for web design. So I type in web design. I say, okay, they use the word web design 51 times. So, if I want to beat Blue Shift Web Services for the keyword web design, I'm going to put the word web design 100 times on my website. And you can't like do keyword stuffing where it's just you're using the word without it being in like a realistic context. If you're just putting the word in there, it doesn't make sense. Google's able to pick up on that, and it won't be good. It won't be worth it. So,
Your typical website is going to consist of at least 5 pages, and we see that both on our website and on the Titusville Chamber's website. The 5 typical pages you're going to have are the home page, the about page, either services or shop, depending on your business, blog, and contact. Those are your 5 normal pages. Of course, if you have a portfolio that you can showcase, you'll want to have a page for that as well. If you have frequently asked questions, that's a great page to add, etc. Just on forth. If you have any pertinent information that you want to give to your clients, to your readers, to your customers, you'll want to have a page for it.
Another thing I'd like to add is I don't think anybody at the chamber has this problem, but it is very common. But one-page websites, maybe one of you guys, when you get a new website in the future, or maybe one of you guys know somebody with a one-page website who is interested in a one-page website. But if that ever comes up, make sure to tell that person do not do it. One-page websites are horrible for SEO. They are really cool. I personally think like it is a better experience as far as like UX or like the client's experience. But unfortunately, Google's algorithm, their software is not up to par to handle ranking one-page websites. So if you have one-page websites, you are not going to be competitive against your competitors as far as ranking. So do not do it, and it won't happen anytime soon. Maybe not even in my lifetime, because it would take a whole requirement of rewriting their entire algorithm in order to rank a one-page website. So just don't do it, basically. But yeah.
So going on, does anyone have any questions about websites? Maybe you're concerned about something on your own website, or you're looking to get started with the website. I can answer some questions, tell you what you need to know. You guys can use the chat feature in the top right over there, or top right. I don't know if this flips.
It doesn't look like, does anyone have any questions? You can always unmute yourself and ask as well.
Hi, it's Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. Hey, this might be a little bit off topic from what you guys have been talking about, but I was looking at your website the other day, and I just wanted to make sure you guys don't have like a service for hosting, right?
We do. We have the maintenance package. And our maintenance package includes hosting, front-end updates, content updates, back-end updates. If you're on like WordPress or Wix or Squarespace, all of those have back-end platform updates you have to do.
I'm going to show you how to find it right here. Go to our website, services. It says maintenance. We should change that to say maintenance / hosting.
Yeah, maybe.
On our website, it says $65 a month for the package, but it's really $45. It's $65 for like really big businesses.
Or like businesses that have their updates like every day. And that's a little more intensive than the normal website.
Some huge businesses need a lot of updates, a lot of work.
Or like extra security.
We just have the higher price on there.
So yeah, it includes the content updates, which is like your images, your text, your blogs, your stuff like that. Hosting, it includes website updates in the back end, like I said with WordPress. It includes security and virus protection. So we have SSL included, and we have SSL, just in case you guys don't know, is this pretty little lock up here by the name. If you're taking credit card information, you have to have this, or else you're going to get the really ugly warning sign that says, hey, someone can hack your stuff.
It doesn't even matter if you have e-commerce or just an informational website like our own. Google actually takes that into account as far as ranking your website.
But it is a heavier rank if it's e-commerce.
Oh, yeah. If it's e-commerce, you have to have it. Like you shouldn't even have a website if you're not going to have it. But you want to have it no matter what. Actually, Google has said in the future they want to make sure that everybody on the internet has SSL certificates on their websites. And they're going to do a lot to make sure that happens. So.
Yeah, SSL is a really great way to prevent hackers, to prevent viruses, to prevent any kind of way of that. Another way to prevent that kind of stuff is to have a CAPTCHA on your contact forms. I have a back-end hidden CAPTCHA on our contact forms, which means robots and scammers can't get in. There's a bunch of different issues with that, and we'll probably talk about that in a future situation.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one over here in the text from Linda. So it says, how much detail should our website include? As much as possible. The minimums for regular website pages like your home page is 500 words. You need to have at least 500 words. On products, it's a little bit less. Your product descriptions should be somewhere between 300 and 400. You should include as many pictures as you can, and make sure that you put alt tags on your pictures. So that's something in the back end, and WordPress has a really awesome tool. When you upload a picture, it automatically on the right hand side of it asks you for an alt tag. So you want to make sure you do that. That's where you're going to get a lot of your keywords. Yeah, so we have a technical package, a technical SEO package, where we do all of the stuff that I'm mentioning with making sure that you have the different aspects of like alt tags, metadata, all these fancy schmancy keyword things in the back end. It's a little technical, but with WordPress and other platforms, they do have plugins if you want to do it yourself. Like Yoast SEO is very, very popular. What are you doing?
Do you want to show them how to get the Google audit on their website?
Yeah, we'll show you how to get a Google audit. So Google has a very awesome tool called Lighthouse built into Google Chrome. So if you're on Google Chrome, you can go to any website. Let's go, we'll do the Titusville Chamber. And you can right click anywhere on the screen and hit inspect.
You have to be on the Chrome browser for this.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm pretty much repeating what you said, but just in case you missed it, this is going to give you an audit for SEO, your website speed, a bunch of things you're about to see in a second.
Yeah. So the first thing that's going to come up when you hit this is it's going to bring up a bunch of HTML and CSS. You don't have to worry about this side of it. You're going to click audits up on the menu in the top. It's usually the 4th or 5th tab.
Also, while we're showing this with our SEO package, we keep you at 100% ranking for the SEO aspect at all times. So it's kind of a big deal. And how much is it?
It's 45.
$45 a month. We keep you at 100%, 100% of the time.
All right, so it is loading its audit right now. They give you a bunch of fun facts in here. Takes 1 megabyte, takes a minimum of 5 seconds to download, it says. So that's something about your assets as far as like images go. Photographers run into this issue a lot because they have really big high definition images. You really need to compress them for website speed to be good.
Yeah, this audit thing is this is free to use. As far as the audit, it's really important, really cool. So it's not about us trying to pitch you or anything. This is really good information regardless. It does usually take a second or a couple minutes.
This fun fact said 70% of websites take 7 seconds to load on mobile.
Also keep in mind when you see the rankings, you might see like a 10% out of 100. You know, it might look really bad, but that's every website. Any website you look at is not going to have anything close to like 100%. It's virtually impossible.
Usually the lowest stat that we'll see is the performance. And of course that's due to plugins.
Oh,
I feel like they had issues running Lighthouse. You'll run into this sometimes, and you generally just need to like open it in a new window.
Okay, so the Titusville.
This stat is not correct. This performance stat is not correct. So we'll go down to accessibility. So accessibility is referring to some technical SEO things for people who have disabilities, use screen readers, all that kind of stuff. There's stuff that you need to do in the background. They have a highly, highly accessible site, which is really, really great. A lot of people tend to neglect that during a website build. Then we've got best practices. So this is just JavaScript stuff. And if you do this audit and you send it to your web developer, they will know what this means. They have 100% on SEO, which is really, really great. Things that they take into account with SEO is going to be like metadata and descriptions and things like that. Super, super great.
Yep. So it looks like the company that's taking care of this website is doing a good job as far as SEO.
They're Blue Shift Web Services approved.
Yeah. It's rock, paper, scissors.
Still Blue Shift Web Services approved.
I'll take that.
So, okay. Any other questions about websites, about things you need to have on your website, things you need to know about your website, how to choose a web developer?
I have another question. It's Robin.
Okay,
so
hi, Robin.
Hi. So you mentioned the SSL, and I see that being pretty common with most hosting plans, but let's say you chose something that didn't have it, but the site where you would, or the web page you would actually make the purchase on, it's like the main web page would take you to the place where there is an SSL. Am I explaining that right? So like, would that be kosher?
So like one page, one section of your site has SSL. That's not ideal, but that is good. So it's somewhere between being like the best and being horrible. You can install it on a single subsection of your site.
I guess
if that's the case, then whoever did it probably was just kind of confused when they were setting it up, because you should only purchase the SSL one time and be able to install it all throughout the website. So if that's the case, then there's no real reason for that.
You can probably reach out to whoever provides your SSL and have them install it on the full site instead of just having it on the subdirectory. I used a tech term. I'm sorry, but
no, that's okay. I honestly, that's okay. I think I understand what you're saying. I guess what I'm trying to say is the place where you purchase my products is already existing, and I'm trying to build like kind of just a easy front end to point to that. So I was thinking like my web page that I build that just points to that other existing website. You know,
like you
do
have
they
two different
both?
websites, and the one website points to your e-commerce, but they're separate
Yeah,
websites.
yeah.
Oh, but they have
So
separate
then,
URLs. Like one
yeah,
would be
absolutely.
robin.com, or it would be robineCommerce.com or something.
I'd be
Yes.
careful with that because Google doesn't like redirects. So if
Okay.
you're redirecting a URL to a different URL, they'll know that and they'll kind of knock you for
But
it.
if the websites are for totally different reasons, one's just linking to your website, that's okay. It kind of depends on like some variables, depending on if you should be doing that or not.
Okay. Thank you.
If you want to give us more information about it, you can email us and we'll give you a more
Yeah,
in-depth description of what we think you
yeah,
should
you can
do.
send us the links over the email or something. We can take a look at it after this.
Any other questions?
Go to the Titusville Chamber website. I also want to point out, if you see right here, this chat function, I don't know what they're using right here, but this is typically really good. We actually added this feature to our website as well, but it's not showing up right now because of this screencasting thing. But we use Talk, TAWK.io. It's
Got to.
sorry, yeah, Talk.2, and it is really good. It's 100% free. Um, they make their money by them manning the chat feature if you want to
For
do
a
that.
dollar an hour.
But yeah, but it actually sends like a text message straight to your phone when someone's on your website and somebody's like trying to talk to you, and it's really helped our conversion. So just wanted to add that as well.
Yeah, so if you're like us and we're up at different hours, we have a baby, so she's up like 3 times a night right now. She's going through growth spurt. So we're up at different hours. So we have our thing set to go to our phone. As soon as they come, they have their own fancy ringtone, and then we just chat
Yeah,
with them.
yeah, you can turn the chat on and off. So if you like you're going to sleep, don't want to answer it, you can turn it off. But if you have it on, you're not going to answer it. It's actually probably going to hurt your sleep. You just want to make sure you're actually ready to jump on your phone and answer the questions in real time. That's something to think about.
Any other questions?
Just a silly question.
Okay.
No questions.
You used some kind of, I guess, terminology for SSL or T. I don't know what it was. It was 3 initials. I have no idea what that was or what it stood for.
SSL is, I'm actually not sure what it stands for.
Security certificate. No, I'm sorry. Security.
Mm-mm. We're gonna look up the actual what it means.
That's okay. It's not a big deal, actually. Not a big deal.
It's okay.
Oh, you do that.
Because I need to. Okay, go on. Secure sockets layer.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's even more technical mumbo jumbo. That's just a transfer protocol, basically. SSL makes sure that when data is transferred on your site, either through a contact form or a shop or anything like that, that data is secure and cannot be stolen, can't be hacked, that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool. Like I said, silly question.
Oh,
No, not
silly
silly.
questions.
Not silly at all. Being in the field, I forget that sometimes I use terms that aren't broadly known.
Not a problem.
You know what it is, but
We know what it is, but we didn't know what it stood for.
You guys are the experts.
Thanks.
Let's see. Is there anything else?
Just another random fun fact on your website. As far as colors, something that Google really cares about is the colors of the background in regards to the text. So if you see
color difference.
the color difference, yeah. So if you see right here, we have like white text on a black background. Well, it happens often where you have maybe like gray text on a black background. and it doesn't show well, Google actually can see that, and they actually they'll hurt your rankings
So there's a bunch of
significantly.
charts. If you look up color difference or background foreground difference, there are a bunch of charts of like what colors to use on what background. Like, of course, we know you don't want to use white text on a white background. Is there ever too much content? There can be. If there's a lot of fluff and there's not a lot of structure to the content, it can be really daunting of a read. People will click off of it. So having paragraphs, having headings, subheadings, those are all good ways to make sure that even if there is a lot of content, that you're not sacrificing that conversion. For as far as action links,
Our kid just jumped out of her chair and is running around the house.
so if you hear this door get like pounded on,
She
like
might come
that's my
busting in.
toddler. She just tried jiggling the door handle, so that's fine. But as far as too many action or links on a website, again, it can be. You want to have a clear call to action for them to take the next step. So if the next step is a store purchase, you want to have that shop as your main focus with your links. One thing that isn't too much, usually, if done correctly, is backlinking. So on our website, we have, here I'll go to our blog because that's where I tend to backlink the most. In our blog, we link to other pages on our website. This is called interlinking. Google loves it. You want to include interlinking in all of your blog posts if you are blogging. It's gonna take a second to load.
Here, I also want to mention as far as having too much content. So when we were saying you want to like have a bunch of content on your homepage, for example, or on any page, you want to make sure that if you have multiple really important things that you need the client to see, like on a homepage, you want to make sure you don't have like 2,000 words of content and on the bottom have like the next most important thing. How do I explain it? Basically, if you have too much content and the page is too long, you have to assume that the potential client is not going to see the bottom of the page. So you don't want to just have a big list of stuff they may be looking for. You want to have it broken up into different pages, subcategories on a menu. Forget what she was trying to show you. Yeah, I'm not sure what she was trying to show you. Forget. But for example, right, on our services drop down, we have web design, e-commerce, SEO, Google Ads. On your homepage is kind of a snippet of everything you offer generally, and you don't want a ton of information on each of these services. We have like maybe 10 services. If we were to talk a lot about each service, nobody would ever get to the bottom and see like what we're offering down there. So you need to have a lot of linking to different pages where you go more in depth on information.
And that's going to be where your headings come into play as well. So in the back end, there are 6 heading tags that you can have. If you're using a WordPress or Wix or Squarespace, is it Squarespace? Yeah, Squarespace. They do have a text editor where you can choose the heading size. You'll want to make sure to do that, and you can use your keywords in those headings. So for us, we have H3, H4 headings where we go into services. So that's another thing that comes into structure. In terms of action, are you talking about just like call to action buttons? Or are you talking like videos?
Basically either, just like moving parts.
Okay, so for videos, you never ever want to have your video hosted on your own server. So you want to upload to YouTube and then use the embed feature. So if you go to YouTube and you hit share, there's an embed code that you can put in. Having too many videos on your site that are hosted on your server will slow down your page and your performance, which results in a lot of the time people clicking off.
Just want to add, I'm basically saying what she is, but I'm kind of simplifying it. You don't need to know anything about servers and stuff. Having too much videos and GIFs and like moving stuff on your website, particularly a website page, like your homepage, it will slow down your website a lot. Like if you look at our website, for example, right when you get on there, you see that video. That's actually it's kind of a trade-off. It looks really good, so it helps with our conversion, so we keep it. But it does slow down our website a lot, which Google doesn't like. But we figure it's worth it. But if you have a bunch of like videos that just start playing as soon as they get on there, GIFs, little moving, goofy little things, it will slow down your website. It will not be worth it. You got to pick and choose what is most important for you. Maybe have like one or two.
Another thing to remember if you have a video on your site is if it has sound and you need it to have the sound, don't have it autoplay. That's something that we see a lot, that people will just embed a music video or something with sound at the bottom of their page. So when somebody loads on, it just starts screaming at them and you're like, okay, like I wasn't ready for all this sound. You don't want to have that happen. Does anyone have any other questions about web design, websites?
No questions. I just want to know, can we get the recording of this webinar?
I believe that it goes out in an email after this.
Yes, I'll send a follow-up and include this link to be able to watch the recording as well afterwards. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Tina.
But yeah, I think that pretty much covers the basics of websites that you should know in terms of like being able to understand what your web developer is doing for you. Okay, here's another thing actually. For websites, you don't want them to stagnate. You want to keep the content updated. You want to keep the content fresh. Usually you can do this by having a slider on your homepage and you can just update it with new events, new announcements, new products, things like that. Another way to do that is, of course, blogging. Blogging adds a new content to your website, shows Google that you're, one, knowledgeable about your field, two, accountable. It's very, very useful.
Yeah, Google, of course, Google has no way to tell if your business is shut down. Like, you could, like, for example, we bought like a 3-year lease or whatever on our domain. So if we went out of business tomorrow, our website's still going to be up for 3 years. And so Google doesn't want to send people to businesses that aren't even running anymore, right? So the best way you can show Google that you're still in business and they'll keep making you higher and keep you climbing the ladder against your competitors.
Ryder, you're muffled. I'm hearing you off on.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah, there, that's better. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so
The mic is right here.
yeah, I'm not sure what you guys heard, but basically, Google can't tell if you're in business or not. But the best way that you can show Google that you're still in business is by updating your content, because someone that's out of business isn't going to update their content, right? So updating your content regularly is going to really boost you as far as SEO. I don't know. I mean, unless there's any questions, any websites you guys want us to look at, I think that about covers it for the basics.
We certainly appreciate all these little tips that you give us as you think of them. They are effective and help quite a bit.
Yeah, years and years of working in it. It's like, oh wait, this is another thing. Oh wait, this is another thing. Okay, we do have a website, britneyswish.org.
Oh, good.
If you hear my toddler in the background, she's literally right outside the door. All right, so first thing I see is that Brittany does have an SSL certificate, which is always really good. Here's her navigation. We've got home, about, services, how you can help, events, contact us. So as you can see, this is at least 5 pages. So above average size website.
Cool. All right, another good thing is she has text. Okay, if these, okay, so if any of these words is a word you want to rank for, then this is good. As far as Brittany's wish kids kicking leukemia.
So battling leukemia, nonprofit organization, leukemia.
Okay, so it
kids.
seems like you're maybe trying to rank for the word leukemia. If that's the case, doing a good job.
We've got contact information, that's a fold. And
Donate.
it's clickable. That's always a good thing. When your telephone number is clickable.
Yeah, everything looks really good so
Definitely.
far. Nice, high quality image.
We have, I'm guessing, people who donate to them.
Okay, one thing right off the bat that I can tell you that you can definitely use to improve your website is it has almost no content as far as words, videos. You know, you need a lot more words. Whatever it is that you're trying to rank for, maybe leukemia, you know, whatever it is, just you need to have more of a body.
So what I suggest typically is that your homepage is snippets of your other pages. So you can include a little bit about you, a little bit of services, a little bit about how they can help, a little bit about the upcoming events. If you looked at our homepage, we had like a little bit of everything that we could go in depth with on another site. So that's the first thing I would suggest. So let's go to the about page. Okay, so you guys have a lot of stuff under the about page, a lot of pages, which is good. So I'm just gonna go to Brittany's story. Okay, so this is Brittany's story. So I'm guessing this is why you guys have a nonprofit organization, which is really nice. You can include the first section here on your homepage and then have a button that says learn more about Brittany's story. That's one way to add content to your homepage. Let's do it. Oh, you guys have testimonials as well. So that's always good. You could add those on your homepage. You guys have some great pictures as well. So yeah, I would just take some of each of these main pages that you have and put them on your homepage as sections, and that will definitely give you a boost. Testimonials are really great. So yeah, you can use some of these longer ones or you can use some of the shorter ones. It just depends aesthetically how you want it to be. You can include that make a donation button because I remember you had that on the home page. You can include that more often throughout your home page as well. The events coming up, you could have sections that kind of describe how to get into the events, what they need to know about the events. And then, of course, the contact us. You want to be having a form or some way for them to contact you on the home page.
Yeah, I would have.
You could literally just copy and paste this section to your homepage.
Yeah, I would add the ability to hit a button and it bring you to the contact us page on every page that you have.
But overall, pretty nice design. On as far as design goes, she has a lot of white space. So white space is the section between the words and the edge of the browser. A lot of people don't pay attention to this white space, so it's always good to see it. And it stays consistent the whole way down. That's always a bonus. Now we're going to look at it on mobile. It's not the same.
Thank you, Linda, for taking advantage of this one-on-one evaluation. This is great.
Okay, so first off, your logo is messed up on mobile. So it's behind your menu and it's kind of overlapping with the words. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. My bad. The menu does look good. Let's go see how the text works. Okay, so this is good. Let's see. These are most likely WordPress generated.
As far as sign in, it's not really any reason for a user to sign up for an account and sign in. You don't want that there. I just noticed a lot of people have that on their websites, and it's really not
Yeah,
necessary.
it's generally auto put in.
Yeah, but you can take it out.
Yeah, you'll need to look for the mobile menu. That's generally what it's called. So, mobile menu.
Let's see, there's errors. You already have that.
Says there's one error.
So
there's a JavaScript error.
Yeah, it's just something you could probably ignore. It's
No, this is an error.
match an undefined in value. That's not anything anybody's gonna look up.
It could also be caused by the platform.
Yeah, there is nothing to really pay attention to. It's nothing.
But here's an example of having two different font styles. Her heading has the little.
Which is fine as long as you just keep it at 2. Have your headings that font style and your body text.
Well, actually, it's a maximum of 3.
Well, as long
2
as
is better, but it's a maximum of 3.
yeah, as long as the third is representing something different.
Yeah, it's
like
usually
H2,
heading,
H1, H2 body or
subheading,
something.
text.
Yeah, if there's any other websites or any other questions that you guys have.
We have about
we got 3 minutes.
3 minutes. You're welcome, Linda.
Yeah, we
That was
appreciate the
really
question.
good. Had me looking at mine to see what Brittany's wish looks like, and came up nice.
Yeah.
Really good information. Thank you.
Um,
All right. If there's no more questions, if you do have other questions, you can always direct them directly to Emily and Ryder or to me at the chamber at fondo@titusville.org. I will be sending, if you'll send me your emails, if you're not a member, Robin, I'm not sure, Robin, Tina, if you're not a member, if you'll please send me, and Linda, if you'll send me your emails, then I will make sure that I send you a follow-up with the recording to this. Again, my email is fondo, F-O-N-D-O, @titusville.org, or feel free to call me or contact Blue Shift. With that being said,
Those emails are written in the chat.
okay, I'm not able to see the chat at this point, so.
You might have to click on the little chat bubble.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you. All
It took
right.
me a second to figure it out. I thought it would like auto pop up when someone texted, but it didn't, so I had to go hunting for it.
Okay, well, I have to tell you, the last time I hunted for something, I lost all presenter abilities.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Again, if you put your email in the chat, I'll be glad to send you a follow-up or contact Blue Shift or the Titusville Area Chamber if we can be further assistance to you. So thank you again. If there's any further questions, we've got a minute.
Tina just put her email in the chat for you, Carol.
Now, I guess that would be fine. If you have the email, just go ahead and jot it down and I'll get with you later if I don't see one. But, oh, there, Tina, thank you.
I am gonna stop sharing my screen now.
Okay. All right.
Just to...
With that, everyone, thank you for attending this morning. Please call us here at the chamber if there's anything we can do to be assistance to you. This is trying times and times that we are all learning to do new things. So opportunities also exist when there's change. And with that, I'll say goodbye and everybody have a nice day. One more thing about websites, if you have a website you want to visit, visit the Titusville.org. We're all keeping up-to-date information as well as at our Facebook page. So you can always visit our Facebook page. Thank you.
Yep, appreciate y'all coming.
Nice job. Nice job.
Thanks.